Guys, we are about to have the most powerful equinox in over 165 years. Yes, exactly. Like, that is a lot. And honestly, it's going to be such a powerful equinox. We are in uncharted territory, and the sun on top of Neptune in Aries for the first time. We didn't see that last time during the sneak peek we had of Neptune entering into Aries. So, yeah, now we're going to get like the first new dose of energy, and it's going to show us how we are all now connecting to a whole new vision. Of course, Aries is about our identity, and Neptune is about our visions, our belief systems. It's like also, of course, connected to our spirituality and how we actually tap into the unseen realms. Of course, Neptune and its higher manifestation can all be about like having this increased sensitivity. It's also about like tapping into these higher frequencies. And Neptune is a planet that makes us all one. So it's actually about wholeness, but in the sign of Aries, yeah. Aries, it is quite feisty. It is a cardinal fire sign, and it's all about the self. So, of course, as we have already seen and witnessed on the world stage, Neptune and Aries, it is about like crusades and holy wars. And we are in a spiritual war, a very big one. So, of course, when the sun ingresses into the sign of Aries here on March the 20th and the equinox kicks off, then yeah, this is definitely going to get highlighted even more fully. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Astrid. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're already part of this beautiful tribe. Thank you guys also much for tuning in with me today. So let's get right into it because I've got some things to share with you. Like this week, it is so huge. I'm filming this on the 18th during the new moon in Pisces. So that is actually a very beautiful new seed that gets planted into the oceanic realms of the mystical sign of Pisces. But of course, 2 days later, on the exact day that you're watching this video, Aries season is getting kicked off. And guys, we are already seeing like a whole stellium in Aries. But later in the month, we're going to see the build up towards 7 planets in Aries. And we're also going to see a new moon. And that new moon will be on top of Chiron, the wounded healer. Also, this week, Aries and Chiron are getting conjunct. And let me like highlight that a little bit more because probably some of you guys heard me saying Aries, but I'm actually talking about Aries. And Aries is actually the little mischievous sister of Aries. She is currently also in the sign of Aries, conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. That's why we are seeing so many massive wounds and conflicts going on right now on the global stage. Aries, it is about like she's a sister of Aries, guys, and not always in the best possible outcome, but she's actually about like the apple of discourse. So she just like, yeah, she likes to come in and just cause some conflict for like the fun of it. And she also embodies like the Trojan horse kind of archetype. So that is very interesting to connect that to everything that is going on right now, isn't that? So whenever Aries is now going to overtake Chiron, so crossing over that, that is like, yeah, a very big deal, honestly. Definitely, because on the 17th of April, we are going to see a new moon in the sign of Aries, and that will be fully conjunct Chiron. And the Sabian symbol of this new moon in Aries that is about to come up here in the next month, the Sabian symbol is a large, disappointed audience. So yeah, we're all watching this clown world circus that we're all like partaking in. I try to detach from it in a conscious way. Not everything is, well, not everything that they're showing us is actually the truth. We are still in Pisces season until the 20th, of course. Yeah, the last month Pisces season was kind of difficult because we had so many planets in that one particular sign. And of course, Pisces, we need to remember that during those specific seasons, we are more susceptible to propaganda, to brainwash, to lies, to spiritual bypass. And Mercury also has been going retrograde in the sign of Pisces for the last 3 weeks. So Mercury will still be in its post-shadow zone until the middle of April. But luckily, on the 20th, it goes back direct. So that is actually kind of huge because we got like the equinox and Aries season getting kicked off. And on the exact same day, a couple of hours later, after the sun's ingress in Aries, Mercury will station direct. So still, when we take the exact snapshot of like the exact time that the sun is at 0 degrees of Aries, Mercury is still retrograde in Pisces, you guys. It's only going to switch direct a couple of hours later. So the equinox chart is very important as it's going to show us the themes that will be leading up all the way until the summer solstice. So there's this kind of feeling that we're still not sure how everything is like playing out. We're still not sure where we're going. There's still like a signifier in the equinox chart about this Mercury retrograde in Pisces and like having this mind that is a little bit exhausted and that feels a little bit confused. And so much truth is going to be revealed over the next 6 months, you guys. It's going to be quite incredible because Mercury, it stations direct on the North Node. So the North Node is also still in Pisces, you guys. It is currently located at 8 degrees. Mercury is going to switch direct on that specific degree together with the North Node. So 8 degrees, it is a Scorpio degree. It's about intensity. And of course, Pisces rules over oil, gas, and all like the war that's been going on in regards to that. That happened as soon Mars, the planet of conflict, entered into the sign of Pisces. So yeah, astrology, it's kind of, yeah, it's clockwork. And more people are waking up to the beautiful tool of astrology, like the manifestation of this last Pisces season. It was so literal that so many people really came up to me and said like, wow, yeah, what you're doing, that actually works. And I was like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how many people are waking up to like truths and lost ancient knowledge, hidden knowledge, all this stuff that is coming out about these how do I say it, PDF file guys, and how they actually control the world. And Pisces also deals with like secret societies, so that has also been like a major theme, even like amongst my more mainstream media unaware friends. So yeah, there's definitely such a huge awakening going on, you guys. And like we're still in the aftermath of Saturn Neptune conjunction that took place on the 20th of February. That is like a massive disillusion, like a massive disillusioning aspect. A lot of people are coming like face to face with reality, and that is going to get highlighted even more now during this equinox ingress. Aries Sun ingress, and that kicks off the equinox. So the Sun at 0 degrees of Aries is going to reactivate the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So, of course, the Sun is about solar figures, and Neptune might dissolve one. And if you've been listening to my previous videos, you already know that I've predicted that there could be like weird missing cases or new evidence being found in missing cases or people getting lost. That is like very typical for like Pisces energy. So yeah, there's this one guy from the Middle East, from a country that I'm not a very big fan of, that is like gone missing right now. And they've been showing so much AI stuff about him and his 6 fingers. And Mercury retrograde in Pisces, my God, oh, wow, there's like so many misinformation and just like images that are false. Then there was this video about him in the coffee shop where he was holding his coffee, and people said like, yeah, but this is another AI film. And then other people said like, okay, but we saw some like, how do you say it, like documents in the background which stated that this movie would have been like made in 2024. But if you look at the video, it's actually 2026. So like there is so much misinformation, even amongst the people who are trying to find the truth. It's because of this Mercury retrograde, you guys. It's like almost impossible to really figure out what's going on. In my opinion, I looked at Netanyahu's chart. There is a very big possibility that he crossed over. We're also seeing that play out in his wife's chart, in his son's chart. His wife has Mars at 27 degrees in the seventh house. And Uranus is on top of that right now. So there is like sudden shocks, surprises with her husband. Mars is actually at the eighth house cusp, the house of death, rebirth, intensity, shared finances. All of that is being like majorly triggered by Uranus here, you guys. And if we then look in his sun's chart, he has his sun at 3 degrees of Leo. And yeah, Pluto is making an opposition with that. So, and in his natal chart, he has Sun opposite Saturn. So the Sun is the father, Saturn is the father. So on top of Saturn, which opposes his Sun, right now Pluto is conjunct there, planet of death and rebirth. So there is actually a very big chance that he's been eliminated. But who eliminated him and why and the reason behind it? That is all very interesting to look a little bit more closely into. Research it yourself, guys. But definitely, are they now like hurrying up to make a whole new clone about Netanyahu? From Netanyahu, that is actually a really big possibility. We are living in such a strange times. It's like also weird, and it's even like way too crazy and delusional to even all comprehend. And that is because Mercury was retrograde, and Mercury was the ruler of the eclipse that we saw in Virgo, the full moon lunar eclipse on March the 3rd. What's interesting as well is that the full moon lunar eclipse, it triggered the Saturn in the chart of the mundane chart of Iran. And Saturn is the ruler of the 10th house, leadership. So it was like kind of predestined that all of this would have like kicked off now. It's very famous for regime changes, this whole Saturn Neptune conjunction that we just had. If you look back at 1952, 53, there was also like a coup in Iran. And yeah, there's always like some strange connection towards leadership changes, either in Russia or Iran, that are connected to Saturn Neptune. Another thing that we're witnessing so strongly right now that is also connected to Saturn Neptune are all these lights in the sky, like in Canada and Germany, here in the Netherlands. I know in other places as well. There have been so many bulbs of light, like light bulbs switching and flying, and even weird green lights. And some people say it's Project Bluebeam in full force. Others are saying that it's like the Galactic Federation that is coming out here to help us in regards to all the nuclear threats. It's kind of also interesting to like look into the whole nuclear technology and the deeper layer within that. And we're not being told the truth about that. And I cannot really say more about that. I'm not saying they do not have massive weapons of destruction, because we're seeing that play out in real time right now. I'm just saying that there's so much more beneath all of it. And on the Rumble, you can find a lot of information about it, about our old history, about what really happened during World War II. A lot of stuff is coming to the surface, you guys, and we are now like going into the fourth turning. So the fourth turning, it describes how every 80 to 90 years, there's like a massive conflict that really changes not only America, but other parts of the world as well. Yeah, if we look back, it was, of course, World War II. It was then the Civil War, and the one before that, it's kind of like escaping my mind right now. But still, we are now going into like the fourth turning. So Uranus is about to change signs here on the 25th of April, or the 26th if you live in Europe. And that is definitely also a very big hallmark, and like a very big shift in everything that's going on right now. And that is also why we are seeing that America is now getting like wrapped up in this whole conflict. Um, there is actually a very big, important chief that like resigned today. His name is Kent. Forgot his last name. There's just like so many news to keep up with, and honestly, it's kind of draining, you guys. I try my best to keep myself informed, to keep you like posted on certain topics, but still, it's just all way too much to like wrap your head around, and also to try to understand and to keep up with. And let's be honest, it doesn't really make you happy, right? So I am like choosing a little bit more, definitely the last 2 years, to distance myself a little bit more from it. As it can be really, really draining. Keeping up with everything that's going on right now, it is just impossible, and it sure as hell doesn't make you happy. So, yeah, if you guys have some like crazy news to share with me, or have some other inside information, be sure to drop that in the comments below. You guys can help me because I'm a little bit tired of it all, honestly. It's becoming so crystal clear for so many people, and that is definitely thanks to Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Others are like going way delusional right now. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see how this plays out further. I know there's a deeper reason. I know there's a higher plan. I hope something good is gonna come out of it. And I think the good that is coming out of it is that a lot more people are starting to realize the truth, and that is something that is very necessary. Of course, those who already woke up during 2020 and the whole pandemic, they know what's up right now. Just another step into the rollout of their agenda. And on the 28th of March, 29th is going to be exact, we're seeing like another sextile between Saturn and Pluto. That is kind of interesting if you know that that planted a very big seed in 2020. So yeah, whoever side wins, it just seems like the agenda is getting rolled out further. And that is worrisome. I'm not going to lie, but it is not going to work over the long time. So we need to have faith. We need to really stand strong and stand in our truth, embody the spiritual warrior archetype. And that is definitely going to be the case now, as this Aries season is about to kick off. We are going to see people revolt massively to structures, to rules, to governments, to, in America, there's going to be huge tax revolts. That is like for sure. So I think that is also the reason why he or why they in America are deploying like the quick reaction force that will be deployed in April. And on the 9th of April, Mars is going to ingress into the sign of Aries as well. Things are going to get a little bit intense. Actually, not a little bit. I am like understating it because I do not want to cause fear, but it's important to be forewarned. Forewarned is forearmed. And such a big, massive planetary parade in the sign of Aries, we've never seen this before. So it's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. People are gonna be triggered. Just remember that Aries is fearless. It doesn't take no for an answer. It goes out and about. It does what it wants. It is a pioneering sign. It is about embracing your own sovereignty. And I think all of it, like all the stuff that is happening right now, is triggering us so that we embody that more fully. We really need to embody like the warrior archetype, but in a healthy conscience kind of way. We're gonna need to hold space for those who are still a little bit unaware, and that might ask a little bit more energy from all of us within the next couple of weeks, actually 6 weeks to be exact. Even I don't know what is about to happen, but I do know the astrology and I can read the archetypes. And Mars ingressing into the sign of Aries will be exactly conjunct the EC, so the bottom of the chart of the US, and the fourth house starts. And when you have the EC at the bottom of the chart, that is like the starting point of the fourth house. So we are going to see a big attack on US soil. That is like almost 100% certainty. Of course, There are now also rumors that the guy who bought the Twin Towers back in the day, the same guy now bought another very big building in California. It's also like a bank tower, and he already has that into his like possession for a couple of for a couple of years. I do not know exactly how long, but he just now like added more insurance, and yeah, like that raises a lot of questions. Of course, they have been priming us in the mainstream media that there are going to be attacks in California. Is this going to be another setup, another psyop like we saw with 9/11? That is actually possible to then further justify the war that is going on. That is definitely something that we need to be attentionate towards, something that we need to keep in mind. If that was the case, people are gonna be freaking out, and it's gonna be important for us who really knows what's going on, or like really knows what's going on. I cannot even say that because even we do not know what's really going on, but we have like a little bit more insight into the deeper layer, and we're not unaware about everything that's playing out, and like the very big war that's now going on between the three Abrahamic religions, and how they want to like build their new temple with their Red Hefner ritual and all of that. If you do not know what I'm talking about, it will be very interesting to research that a little bit. I'm wondering now in the next few weeks, are they going to bomb or attack the Al Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem? I hope not, but still, there is so much more going on than we realize, and even I do not know the full truth. I guess no one really knows. We can have glimpses of it. We can have our own opinion about what's going on, and it's definitely not okay. But still, it would be a major plot twist if Netanyahu is not amongst us anymore. And like how they're failing with their AI footage, and how he's missing at these important councils, and there's definitely something going on. And if they're gonna like show us the new clone of Netanyahu as bad as like the one they put on stage of Jim Carrey, then that is just gonna like not work out for them very well. So it seems like things are crumbling. And it also seems like things are not going their way. It's like not going as planned, that is for sure. And that is because Saturn is an Aries. It gives very fast karma. There's so much more that I want to say, but I need to be careful because as of like May, they're going to implement a new law that they're actually going to check all your DMs on Instagram, like, and also Facebook on Meta. We're also seeing that people who expose Israel and like on X and Twitter, that they're getting banned. So yeah, Saturn in Aries is actually putting limits and refraining on our identity. So I know freedom of speech would be a very, very big deal over the next 2 years. And it seems like it's getting worse and worse. So am I even going to be able to do these videos anymore? Am I still going to be able to fly into the States or other certain countries with me being blunt and outspoken, the Aries that I am? I do not know. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. And that is also Saturn and Neptune on top of each other. And I think a lot of people are, yeah, coming face to face with reality. And the reality ain't that pretty, honestly. But we are definitely going towards like a better time. It's just going to be a very, very big split in humanity. One side is really going to like submit to the whole transhumanist agenda, while the others are really going to revolt against transhumanism. So it's going to be a very important time the next few years, especially from now until 2032, because then we're going to see the last conjunction between Saturn and Uranus. That will be at the end degrees of Gemini, and it will also conjunct the natal Uranus moon conjunction in the chart of NATO. Also, NATO's chart is going to get massively triggered here. They have a natal stellium in Aries in the 7th house, open enemies, allies, and that is going to get massively triggered now in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, we know the US just asked for help towards a lot of NATO countries. We also know that we need to take into account that the banksters of London actually control Iran for a very long time. So that is definitely also something that you guys need to be looking at, because they are not telling us that on the mainstream news. There's definitely a way deeper layer to all of this, and also Iran has so many. It's a sacred land. It is like the place where also astrology originated from. The whole greater Persian plateau, it is filled with like portals, and it is sacred ground. And like time travel is becoming a very big topic here as well. That is going to get way bigger whenever Uranus enters into the sign of Gemini and will make it trine to Pluto and Aquarius. Yeah, time travel is real, you guys, and like teleportation is real and all of that stuff, and that is gonna become very mainstream over the next couple of years. We just kicked off a whole new eclipse cycle in Aquarius, and the next eclipse will be in Leo during the summer. Next eclipse season is gonna be pretty loud. Leo likes to roar, and with Jupiter entering the sign of Leo as well by the end of June, the beginning of July, everything that's going on the world stage is going to be turned up to like a whole next level. Just grab your popcorn. There is everything that's happening right now. It is so strongly indicated by the astrology. So is it destined? Is it like necessary to happen? Yeah, the astrology says so. So my humble opinion on all of that doesn't even matter. There is like a higher plan, and these planets that are all aligning so strongly with one another for the past 6 years. It is a necessary process that we need to go through. So am I? I've been like blabbing and ranting for quite some time. So maybe I just like need to start looking at the chart. But yeah, I just wanted to give you like a little bit more heads up on everything that's going on, and how people are so confused about what's true. And even I had like over the last couple of weeks, I had such big times, like moments in time where I was like with my hands in my hair and be like, oh my God, like, okay, it's more like this and like this. And a lot of people are searching for the truth. And there is like whenever Mercury stations back direct, things are going to become way more clearer, and there is a reason why we need to be now a little bit lost with our heads in space. Being lost in the clouds is really also a very big signifier of Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and it's okay if you do not know the exact direction that you're going in towards. We're going to go full force ahead here once Aries season fully kicks off, and that is today for you guys who are watching now on the 20th. So yeah, a little bit of another video than I usually do, but I really wanted to just take some time to speak from the heart and to also show you that even I do not fully know what's the deeper layer, what's the full truth. I strongly think no one knows, but there are definitely way more signifiers, way more truths being revealed, and people are really tapping into like the unseen realms right now with Mercury retrograde and Pisces. And Pisces is like things being exposed from behind the veil. So pretty interesting stuff, you guys. And it's good to be aware that there are like sacred portals and stargates, and all of that is massively part of what's going on in Iran right now. So yeah, you can definitely look up some more information in regards to that. And here we have the spring equinox, of course. Yeah, that is like a very big portal in itself, because light and dark, they balance each other out perfectly. And it's also a sign that we need to be in balance with ourselves and with our mind and with our thoughts, and with our like whole frequency. Frequency is like it's getting a reboot here, and whenever light and darkness balance out, that is like the whole ignition point of like something new that gets ignited. Aries is the first spark that like sets the house on fire, and it might seem like darkness is winning right now, and I do agree that that is what it looks like. But just know we're now entering a time where light and dark are equal, and now the light is going to return and overpower the darkness. I think that is also why the darkness is like rallying so strongly right now. So just keep the faith, trust the higher plan, surrender. That is the best advice that I can give you guys. So here we have the chart of the equinox, and it is the most powerful equinox chart we had over 165 years. This is a very big global reset of like the direction that we're going in, and it's about our identity. And also, there is so much momentum building right now, and this chart is gonna set the tone until December solstice. So we're still like today on the 18th we have the new moon in Pisces that is closing out eclipse season. Like that was a rather feisty one if you ask me. Yeah, like what happened like since the start of this year? It's insane. Venezuela, Mexico, Iran, they're now like already talking about Cuba. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, these are all the countries that do not belong to the Rothschild bankster family, or should I say gangster family. So yeah, that is also a very big part, of course. So there is like there are so many contradictions, and a lot of people are confused. A lot of people are not able to connect the dots, and that is all normal. That is because we have North Node, Mercury, Mars, and Pisces. Um, Mercury is going to station direct here on the exact same day. So there is just some very big news that is coming in here, you guys. Mercury will be at 8 degrees for like the entire week. So you can expect like one big headliner after another for like the entirety of a week. So that is actually kind of big. But yeah, it's like the end of the illusion and the birth of more embodied purpose. So yeah, this is like we've been giving our power away to external authority, and now it shifts to like inner sovereignty. And I think that is a very positive thing here. All of the old systems dissolve. Sun on the Saturn Neptune conjunction is definitely going to restate that. That is also the reason why we're seeing what's happening in Iran, in Venezuela, in Mexico with the drug cartels. Mars in Pisces, Mars is conflict, war, aggression. Pisces is about drugs, medicine, but also oil, gas. That is all part of Pisces. So that is actually the reason why we are seeing this right now. And on the 20th, and most exactly on the 22nd, Mars will trine Jupiter exact in our personal lives. That can be very beneficial, but on a world stage, it can even like amplify whatever is going on right now. And I know a lot of people said like, yeah, this war is not going to last long. Well, unfortunately, that is not the case. Aries season still needs to like kick off now fully. So yeah, the next 6 weeks are definitely going to be a very big focus on war and conflict, and people are gonna really start to they're gonna really start to show their frustration. So be a little bit more mindful over the next few weeks. Definitely on the 9th of April, whenever Mars ingresses into Aries. Mars will then also reactivate the Saturn Neptune conjunction degree, the 0 degrees of Aries. And guys, 0 degrees of Aries, it is the world point axis. We have not seen like a Saturn Neptune conjunction since 4360, or was it 40 BC? That is like kind of wild, you guys. That is like a very long time ago. That is also why this is having such a big influence right now on the world. We are actually entering a whole new era. The old world is collapsing in real time. We are one of the lucky few to actually be here to witness it all, because it is destined, it is necessary. Things really need to crash fully down before we can rise up again. It is like, yeah, rising from the ashes, but we're like in the burning stage fully, and for next couple of years actually. So of course, also Aries, it is about like truth and leadership and awakening and new direction. And it is a very big ignition phase, you guys. Saturn Neptune is the collapse of false realities. It is the construction of a new long-term vision. So we see so many exposure of illusions. We see restructuring of power in real time. We see the end of escapism as a coping mechanism. Aries is right up in our face. It is like also the demand for more spiritual maturity. Saturn is about maturity, and Neptune is the planet of spirituality. So before we were like, oh yeah, well, I believe it to be like this, and then like now, no, that's over. Now we need to start living our truth and fight for what matters to us, and actually fight for our identity and for free speech, you guys. um the sun here in Aries on top of Neptune, that is like the new birth of a whole new spiritual warrior archetype. Not someone who actually fights, but actually someone who wants to act from soul alignment. We go from vision, Pisces, to form, Aries. We like with the sun on Neptune, and then Aries. Like first we form a new vision with the sun on Neptune, and then after that, that becomes like a new form. It becomes crystallized by Saturn. So we go from like our intuition to more action right now. We see a fire and water dominance here in the chart. So yeah, logic is not leading the way. It's our emotions, and they are becoming inflamed. Of course, Pisces is water, Aries is fire, water, fire together. That is steam, you guys. So a lot of steam, a lot of fog, a lot of feistiness, a lot of people who are really fed up. Enough is enough, and emotion and instinct here are leading, you guys. So all the decisions that will be made over the next couple of weeks are going to be coming from like a feeling of urgency and having to like act or need to act quickly. Definitely on the world stage there is definitely like heightened sensitivity and rapid action that comes along with that. So of course also Uranus is going to switch at 29 degrees here on the 6th of April. Here in the chart, it's still at 28 degrees, and 28 degrees, that is a Cancer degree. But once it shifts over to 29 degrees, then that is a critical degree. It's the energetic degree, the end of a sign. It's in the third decan when things become global. Uranus is shake-ups, wake-ups. It can also be about very big natural disasters. Honestly, you guys, from the 6th of April until the 25th, we're going to see some wild things going on. Hopefully, the Ring of Fire doesn't get triggered too much here, because even here in the Netherlands and here in my Belgium, in my country, Belgium, there were like people who felt an earthquake, and it was only like 3.1 op de schaal van Richter. How do you say it in English? I don't know, but you guys probably understand me. But yeah, there are weird things going on, you guys. Saturn, Neptune, that is like dissolving. Neptune. Saturn is structure, so land. On like 0 degrees of Aries, the world point axis, are there going to be tectonic plates shifting? Or is there going to be like a massive volcano eruption? Is there going to be a massive earthquake that like really shifts the physical structure? I've been talking about this since January of last year, you guys. And I mean like 2025. I did like a whole 2025 overview video in January or February last year. And I've already like strongly touched upon that. Well, now we're entering the time with Uranus at 29 degrees where such stuff might actually happen, you guys. So yeah, it's gonna rumble. If you look at Stephen Burns, he's like a geophysicist on YouTube. He's really fun to watch. He knows so much stuff, and he's also quite handsome for my ladies. So, but he's now also talking about like the Ring of Fire and also like a Carrington event, and like yeah, it's like intense stuff, you guys. And I can see it in astrology here as well. It is like aligning, but we need to really implement grounding practices and to surrender to everything that's going on right now. So yeah, with Aries here, Aries is very like outgoing and it acts really quick, but like, can we act without reacting? Aries is a quite reactive sign, you guys. If it gets triggered, oh my god, it's like it's gonna burn your house down. I'm just like saying it. So then with the whole Pisces energy here as well, can we feel without drowning into everything that's going on right now? I feel like a lot of people are throwing like the towel into the ring. They feel backstabbed, they feel betrayed. That is a very big energy of Mars and Pisces that I've also been warning about in my previous videos. But do not give up, you guys. Like, this is such an important window of time, and we really need to we need to embody our truth, and we need to stand up and fight for what we believe in. But with fighting, that can also be peaceful. But I'm not saying I do not want to feed any more conflict. No, not at all. I am a fighter. I am a warrior, but I'm not going to get aggressive, because once you get aggressive, you actually lost. And that is like the whole plot twist here. A lot of people are going to become aggressive. And with Saturn and Aries, we cannot do that right now. No. We can be pissed off and we can show our anger by drawing boundaries, by saying no, by just detaching from the things that are draining us. Mercury retrograde in Pisces. We've become so fully aware over the last few weeks how bad environments and people with negative frequencies and vibes, how they actually affect our own energetic body. We had a full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo, you guys. We're still like feeling that because Mercury is still not direct here, only a couple of hours later here in the chart. So that is definitely going to be like an aftermath that we're going to be taking into like the next few months until the summer solstice. The positive thing is that there's going to be huge transformation within our thought process, within how we process information. The Scorpio degree, it is about intensity, it is about lies being exposed, because like Scorpio deals with secrets, and Pisces is what happens behind the veil or behind the scenes, and the things that are not fully like obvious to us. So that is also like massively intertwined here, or like it's like baked into the chart up until the summer. So major revelations for sure. And also, when things go fast, and definitely time and things are gonna start moving, and when things go fast, we slow down. That is like the key theme here, because a lot of people are burning themselves out right now. They're on their fire horse. Like, guys, from the 20th and definitely from the 9th of April into the end of April, the fire horse is gonna go like totally wild. I'm just saying. So make sure you tame your own horse. Do not become too overconfident. Do not become too triggering. Do not become too like blunt, too outspoken. Try not to trigger other people's madness. It's already gonna be like well enough like this. So yeah, and in Dutch we say des welletjes. So yeah, it's well, it's okay. It's gonna be feisty enough as it is. Now, on a personal level, without looking at the global stage, this is where things are going to start to move forward, you guys, because we're going to see all planets direct for the next 6 weeks, if I remember correctly. Yes, 6 weeks. So we have not had all planets direct since last May, like of last year. So oh my god, I'm swearing for the very first time here on YouTube. That is actually funny, because swearing, that is like one of Aries key talents, if I should say it like this. All the Aries in the chat are definitely gonna be smiling right now. And if you know an Aries, you know they have a sharp tongue, you guys. So yeah, funny. Okay, so yeah, Mercury Mars are gonna make another conjunction in Aries in April. Oh my god, that is gonna be woo. Okay, stay professional, Astrid. But yeah, it is gonna be, people are gonna be really revolting, and like, if you're a little bit more shy, then this energy is definitely going to help you really push forward and be a little less shy, and you can even be like surprised of your own self and what comes out of your mouth. Yeah, a lot of unbalanced Aries, they have a filthy mouth. I'm just gonna like admit that. When I was in my teenage years, oh my god, that was something else. But that is like a past life, and that is not me anymore. But still, unbalanced Aries, and definitely I have like Pluto in my third house. if someone wants to attack me, I can just like wipe them out with one sentence and without even like raising my voice. So that is like the power of Aries. And we are now all going to partake into this energy. Aries is pioneering, it is ignition, it is a catalysator, it is like, it is bold, it is blunt, it is the warrior. It doesn't let other people walk all over themselves. It is actually very helpful in these interesting times that we're living in. So I'm actually glad to see so much more planets shift into fire and then later also air. Like the last decade, all the planets were in Earth and water sign, you guys. Now we're all gonna shift over into fire and air, and that is gonna be a very big welcoming change for a lot of people. So I know all the things I've mentioned were rather intense, but that was mostly connected to like what's gonna happen on the world stage. In our personal lives, we can finally have the feeling that things are gonna start move forward again, and we are in uncharted territory. We have never seen this. We've never had to deal with this kind of energy in our lives, and it can be a very big welcoming change for a lot of people. Definitely, if you are an air or a fire sign, like that is going to be very good news. There's like a whole new ignition point, a whole new set of energy being highlighted here, and people are really going to feel like, okay, yes, I have been waiting for this my entire life, so many years, and now I finally have like the courage to act upon the things that I want to manifest and the things that I desire in my life. So just take other people's feelings into accountability. Aries is about me, the self. I want this, I desire that. I'm gonna walk like over other people, and I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna be a tyrant because this is my desire and this is my passion. And Mars is gonna trigger Aries, and that is when people are gonna need to like tone down a little bit, because then it can like very rapidly shift into tyrannical, tyrannical vibes. So do not dominate others. Really embody the healthy Aries archetype. Otherwise, you're going to be kicked in the butt by Saturn like instantly. So yeah, here we see also in the chart, of course, the sun in his leadership. The sun is luckily exalted in Aries, but the sun will conjunct Neptune, and Neptune is going to weaken the positive qualities of the Aries sun. It is exalted, it's going to have a little bit more power, but still, Neptune, you cannot underestimate that. We're going to see a very big dissolving of a very big leader on the world stage. A very big world leader is going to either pass, resign, being overthrown again, but what's new? Yeah, it is like Mercury at 8 degrees conjunct the North Node. I think there's going to be a very big destined message of someone who gets unalived or impeached or like something changing, someone like stepping down. It is very strongly in the cards here, and I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be the guy from Israel. So that will be actually a step in the good direction, don't you think, guys? I know that there's other puppets ready to like take his place, but it's just like a very strong, important message to the world. I'm more like referring to that. And I'm not saying that other world leaders are in per se like better. If you look at Kim Jong Un and Xi Jinping and like all these guys, like wow. And that is why like I'm so convinced that to really gain a top position in society, or like definitely president, king, prime minister, all of that, you need to be like somehow a little bit corrupt on multiple levels. But then again, if you look at our own prime minister here from Belgium, Bart de Wever, I'm actually going to say something good about him. And I was not expecting to say that, but like he is looking to restore the bonds with Russia right now. And I'm like, bravo. He also made sure that like the Russian money that is here like on Belgian accounts, bank accounts, and like Ursula von der Leyen, she wanted to like steal that and like, yeah, that is like a whole other story that I'm not going to get too deep into that. But like our prime minister, Bart de Wever, he made sure that it stayed or it remained blocked here, and that there were no other parties who could use that money, and also that it didn't like go back to Russia, and like he blocked it here. It like remained, these Russian monies remained here on these bank accounts, and that is actually a very positive thing that he did that. Like, congratulations, Bart Weaver. You've got my vote for like next time. Yeah, I was not expecting to say that, but like if people who actually effed up before now do good things, we also need to give them a second chance. Pisces is also about forgiveness, and the North Node is there. So people can really learn from their mistakes, and it's not because they effed up before that they're not possible now to also do good things. So I think that is also something that we really need to take strongly into account, and it's also for our personal lives. Mercury on the North Node, you might get an important message from one of your friends, or maybe family, or maybe even siblings, or maybe even neighbors, siblings, younger people, is all part of Mercury. And maybe you're gonna maybe receive a destined message, and that they're gonna ask for forgiveness, and just like do that for yourself. This is like beautiful energy to tap in towards. Mercury is also about like younger people, younger kids, elementary school. I think there's going to be some new laws getting implemented in regards to elementary school, because it trines Jupiter. Jupiter is law, but Jupiter is in Cancer, and Cancer is the home. Maybe something big is going to come up in regards to homeschooling for the US and for Canada, and maybe even for other countries as well. That is definitely a possibility. And with 8 degrees in an intensity degree, and it will be like the exact trine of Mercury and Jupiter will be at 15 degrees. And 15 degrees is a Gemini degree. Again, elementary school, younger kids, homeschooling. Things, it's going to be a team, you guys. That is like for sure. What else can I say? Yeah, new young leadership is definitely also going to come forward. Conscience leaders, Neptune and the Sun. And the embodied mystic archetype, a lot of people who are going to act from the soul, and the energy is all like going to carry us all the way into the solstice. Of course, guys, I'll be talking like way more about this. Like, you can read this quote, fortune like favors the brave. That is definitely the case for Aries season. But what I wanted to mention here is like, I'm gonna host a whole Aries season eclipse. I always want to say eclipse workshop. It's because, yeah, like this whole Aries season, it is connected to the eclipses, of course. And I'm also gonna highlight that. But every time that I want to promote my own Aries workshop, I say eclipse workshop, and it's like because I've integrated the eclipses as well. Because we just had this solar eclipse in Aquarius on February the 15th, and we're also having, like, we also had the full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo on the 3rd. And I'm also going to like highlight that in my Aries season workshop, and how the seeds that got planted and the themes that got illuminated and highlighted, how that's now like gonna continue playing out. So you can definitely join my Aries season workshop if you would like to. It is going to be live. I'll be hosting it live on the 22nd of March at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And for my friends from Belgium and Europe, that will be at 4 p.m. Central. Set. So yeah, be sure to like dive in if you want to know a little bit more. This is like an overview of my workshop. We're going to look more deeply into the equinox portal, the sign of Aries, Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, how they combined. We're also going to see a new Mars-Saturn cycle getting kicked off here. That will happen on the like around the 15th until the 20th. The exact conjunction will be at the 17th or 19th, if I remember correctly. But the 15th from the 20th is going to be a very important key period, not only in your personal life, but definitely on the world stage. And we're going to look a bit more closely towards that as well. I'm also going to highlight a lot of the Sabian symbols of the cycle of every season, and like the new moon that is getting kicked off on the 17th of April. And then the Sabian symbol gives way more like information about the degree that it falls upon. Important to note that today, while I'm filming this on the 18th, we're having the new moon in Pisces, and it's at 28 degrees. And we have been having new moons at 28 degrees since October of last year. Now, the next one in Aries will be at 27 degrees. So things are shifting. We're going from 28 degrees, a Cancer degree, to 27 degrees, which is a Gemini degree. Again, younger people, elementary school, neighbors, and like the news and headlines and being on the road, cars. I'm going to be like talking more about that as well when I'm done with like the whole workshop overview. Then we're going to look more closely to the messages for each of the 12 zodiac signs. You do not need any prior knowledge about astrology, but it would be helpful if you were to look up your own natal chart to really look at where every season is going to be like triggering you, because this is going to be such a big pile up of concentrated energy, and that is really going to act like an acceleration process within your own natal chart. So before you join the workshop, be sure to know your own rising sign and your sun sign, so you are able to listen at the correct signs to really gain the most by the predictions that I will be making. And after that, we're going to do a little, I'll be giving some tips for rituals, how to work with the Aries energy. And like what I'm doing right now, wearing orange, wearing red. I've even dyed my hair red when Saturn and Aries ingressed, when Saturn and Neptune ingressed into Aries. These are all things that are going to help you embody like the spiritual warrior archetype. And also Aries, it does not have any patience. Like, I was born without patience, but I feel like now it's Saturn in Aries. I'm like more, okay, just tone yourself down. I'm a very big believer of divine timing. I have Jupiter in Sagittarius in my third house. That is why I love to talk to you so much about all of this stuff. But definitely Saturn in Aries is teaching us patience and endurance and resilience. And I will also be talking a whole lot more about that. So yeah, gaze into like orange candles. That can be very helpful to transmutate the Martian fiery feisty Aries energy. So if you guys want to be part of that, you can definitely go to the Beyond Mystic Academy. I'll be linking it in the description box below, of course. And it's only 20 bucks, you guys. That's really going to be a bargain for all the information that I will be sharing with you. And of course, you will be able to ask me questions in the chat as it's going to be live. So if you already have certain questions, you can also already like drop them in the comments below, and then I'm gonna like take that into my preparation of the workshop for you guys. So I want to be in service of you, of course. So let me know if you want me to highlight something important. If you have certain questions, that is all possible in the comments and also during the workshop, of course. So yeah, here, mark your calendar, guys. April 9th, Mars into Aries, Mars in its home sign. That is going to be cosmic fireworks, and I will be highlighting that in my workshop as well. So, with all of that being said, we're going to start the readings for the 12 signs. And of course, I am going to be a little bit more swiftly on that, because I will do this more in depth in the workshop, of course. But you guys know that I all love you so much that I also do not want to leave you guys hanging. So that is why I'm going to highlight this specific equinox kickoff for each of the 12 signs. And in my workshop, I will be doing the new moon in Aries that we are about to see on the 17th of April, with then also Mars into the sign of Aries. So it's not because you listen to these readings that those in the workshop are not going to be like worth it anymore. No, quite the opposite. They're going to like really support one another. This will be the equinox readings. Then in my workshop, it will be more of the Aries stellium towards the middle of the month. So Aries, the stars of the show. Dear Lord, you are gonna get like Cosmic fireworks, you guys. This is like kind of amazing, and I've been waiting for this for such a long time. Of course, this stellium and the Aries Equinox is getting kicked off in your first house. You are like the vocal point of the entire astrological moment, all the way up until the end of March. It is your season, so happy birthday, Aries. We can host our celebrations together if you would like that. So let me know when it's your birthday. Mine is actually the 28th of March. So yeah, I'm still in March Aries, and there is still also a difference between March and April Aries. So that is also interesting to then look at for yourself. So yeah, your identity, your direction, your purpose, and the way you present yourself to the world is all being rebooted. Re, it is like such a big cosmic feisty rebooting that happens here. This is not a small shift, you guys. It is a major identity initiation. It is baptism by fire, you guys. So yeah, you are becoming someone new, and some of you are going to feel like life is going to accelerate very, very rapidly. All the events are going to be moving faster than you're actually emotionally ready for. So do not go on the attack, you guys. I know you're the soldiers, you're the warriors, but be sure not to burn bridges with this one. You're going to feel way more energetic. You're going to feel more feisty. You're going to feel more blunt, outspoken, reactive, drawing boundaries, saying no, saying F off. Yeah, it is all part of being an Aries, but make sure you do it for the right reasons, you guys. Like, I'm like making it a little bit more lighter, but things could be a little bit more tense, especially from the 9th of April when Mars is going to be in your home sign. Oh my god, like brace yourself, all the other signs, because Aries, they're gonna like be on the go, and it's gonna be very intense and feisty. So yeah, if other signs are listening right now, do not piss off an Aries from the 9th of March until like the middle of May, because you're gonna get your ass kicked like quite strongly. So of course, here in the equinox chart, Mars, your ruler, it is within the 12th house. So there is a very big transformation that is already happening right now internally and spiritually and behind the scenes. And you might need to take a little bit more rest still with your ruler in the 12th. You're definitely realizing where you need to let go of old dreams and old ambitions and old ways of like pushing yourself forward. Like, do not push yourself into burnout now with Mars in your 12th. You need to learn to move forward and be the beautiful Aries energy that you embody, but you need to move forward without actually abandoning compassion for yourself. Pay attention to your body a little bit more, to your health routines, and also all the signals that actually your intuition is telling you right now with Mars in the 12th. If something drains you, if something no longer brings you fulfillment, then now it's gonna like give you the courage to release it and change it. But you might need to like let go of an old version of yourself first. So yeah, a lot of things are gonna be shifting for you, Aries, and it's gonna be a welcoming change. But when your planet, your ruling planet, is in the 12th, it gets a little bit dissolved. So it might feel like you have like less strength, less power. Luckily, that is now going to change with the sun ingressing into Aries, but still, Mars still in the 8th house. There might also some very active dreams going on. So yeah, take good care of yourself. Just know on the 9th of April, things are really going to be shifting and you're going to regain a lot more energy. So good luck, my dear Aries. And also let me know what happens for you guys. I'm very curious. I think like Mars, your ruler in the 12th, is also the house of dreams. So there's like a lot of action being like added into your dreams, and now with the sun in Aries, you gain like more confidence and courage to really go after your dreams. So let me know what like unfolds in your life. I'm very curious. So good luck, my fellow Aries. We have Taurus in Moon or Rising. For you, the whole Aries season and the equinox is going to be activating your 12th house. It is the most private and spiritual part of the chart. This is a very deeply introspective part of the chart. And a lot right now is happening behind the scenes. Maybe you're choosing to work more in silence. Maybe you need to tap into more about rewiring the subconscious, because it's about healing and dreams and hidden emotions. And Saturn, Neptune there can be moments where you feel like you're retreating from the world, and you like kind of need to, in order for you to like reconnect with yourself. So if you need a little bit more solitude or more rest or more spiritual grounding than usual, just like give into that, and tap into the spiritual energy and surrender and have faith. You're very grounded and very steady, but having this whole stellium in the 12th house, there is definitely going to be like an ignition of the spiritual inner warrior that is going to be awakening quite big. And 12th house is also self-sabotaging behavior. So be sure that you do not burn any unnecessary bridges, or that you do not sabotage yourself, because all the frustrations that you've ignored or suppressed are going to start to surface, especially if you've been like staying in situations too long that are like too uncomfortable and that do no longer align with your growth. Like Taurus is like, you are also very like, you're mostly very steady and calm, and you have a lot of patience, way more than an Aries. But once the bull charges, holy guacamole, then that is not a joke. And I know that because my brother is a Taurus. So yeah, living together for such a long time before, when we were younger, Taurus and Aries, whoo, that is a feisty battle from time to time. So yeah, it's very powerful time to dive into your subconscious, to do therapy, meditation, spiritual work, dream interpretation. If you can go on a journey, and definitely like a spiritual retreat would be very beneficial for you, or maybe like some kind of anger management therapy where you like just unleash all of the suppressed anger, where it's like allowed, and where like, because like in society it's mostly not allowed, and I do not support that, because we need to be able to express our anger. But the thing is that we're not learned or used to how, like, we're not used to do that in a healthy way. You're gonna get tested in that, Taurus. So slow down, listen to your intuition, and release old emotional patterns. And this is like your month where you need to like rest before your Taurus season kicks off. And when it's your birthday, then things are definitely going to be changing. So good luck, Taurus. We have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Gemini, you're going to have this Aries stellium that is going to happen in your 11th house. That is the house of your social sphere. It is about your community and your friendships and your long-term goals, your aspirations for the future, what you put on the table for society, who you connect with, groups of friends. All of that is part of the 11th. So yeah, your social world, it is going to transform majorly, and you're going to bump into new friends, and even existing friendships might deepen and strengthen, and others are going to be dissolved here by the Sun on Neptune. Definitely if they no longer align with your future vision. The Sun here is really illuminating that vision, and Neptune is going to blur certain social boundaries. You're going to become more like, you're going to feel the effect more of the people who you surround yourself with. There might be some old frustrations in regards to friendships that are going to get triggered. Definitely you're way more sensitive towards your friendships right now. Maybe some of your friends are going to have some very big important news for you guys. So Saturn here, it also shows you that you need to become more intentional with who you surround yourself with. And this is definitely a good time for networking, for collaboration. If you receive invites, be sure to say yes. Go out and about. It's going to be very helpful for you. It is also in a sextile sign towards your Sun, Moon, or Rising. So you can really enter new communities, and they might appear rather quickly, and they're going to inspire you to maybe pursue bigger goals and take on more like also courageous steps in your career, with Mars, the ruler of Aries, in the 10th. So definitely, if you're self-employed, if you're like an entrepreneur, The 11th is very important. It's going to activate new connections and alliances. And also, when we've put a lot of work during Pisces season in the 10th house, now the 11th house can be a financial payout to the 10th house. So, yeah, can definitely be about very positive news here that comes through. So yeah, let me know what happens. And Neptune is also gonna like reveal the friendships who are like based on illusions and people who are not genuine that might be highlighted, illuminated by the sun. The real friends are also going to be highlighted strongly. So yeah, the right community is definitely going to help you in your next chapter. So good luck, Gemini. You have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Cancer, this is important for you. You are also a cardinal sign. It happens in your 10th house. That is an angular house. It squares you by sign. So, yeah, important time. Very important. The 10th is the house of career and public reputation, or like your social status. Your professional life is undergoing actually a major turning point and you're becoming more visible. You might feel like, oh, all eyes are on me. Whatever I say now in a public way can gain major traction. So the sun shining its light in the 10th house, it is the area of your chart that also like suggests that you're stepping into more leadership position and becoming more visible, maybe at your job. Maybe your boss is going to have some very important information, maybe your father as well. But you might, yeah, have a very big change in your work, maybe a promotion, maybe there's something changing in your public presence, or even within your own family role at home. The 10th house and the 4th house can be connected to your own parenthood, your own parents, you parenting kids, something changing in that. So Saturn brings a lot of responsibility and accountability, and yeah, you're being asked to really step up in a way that is going to be a little bit uncomfortable because Aries and Cancer, it's fire, water, and Aries, like, it is fearless. You need to be less fearless in your career. You need to go after what you want and what you desire. Just take the bold step, speak your truth. It's gonna help you if you do it in a healthy way, of course. But Neptune is also adding a very big element of spirituality in your career right now, and it needs to get more infused within your own leadership position. So, yeah, feeling a new call or push towards like more meaningful or more aligned work or work that aligns with your soul purpose. If you're like applying for a new job, doing interviews, launching a business, that could all bring a lot of recognition and new opportunities. So be confident about your ambitions. Good luck, Cancer. You have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The stellium in Aries is going to light up your 9th house. And for you, Leo, that is very positive, as you are, of course, a fellow fire sign. And it's going to trine your Sun, Moon, or Rising. So, yeah, count your lucky stars, my dear Leo. The 9th house is about like travel, higher education, philosophy, belief systems. And of course, the sun is your chart ruler, so it's gonna trine you. Oh my god, this is perfect. This is good news, you guys. It's gonna feel especially significant for you, Leo. Something new about your worldview, it is expanding. Something new within your belief system is getting rewired. You're gonna feel a very big push or need, or you're gonna want to travel and explore, or even spiritual exploration, doing like shamanic journeys during meditation is also implicated here. But definitely it's about something new, something fiery, something feisty, something that makes you feel alive. So you can definitely study something new or teach your wisdom. It's about like higher knowledge in the 9th house. So Saturn, Neptune, they are dissolving outdated beliefs and they're all like being replaced by something more mature and meaningful and spiritual. And yeah, you might also bump into someone important like a mentor or a teacher or a new guide. They are going to be like a very big source of inspiration for you, Leo. So yeah, step outside of your comfort zone and yeah, broaden your horizons. That is definitely going to help you. So enjoy that beautiful energy, Leo. Good luck. We have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Virgo, you are going to have this Aries stellium lighting up your 8th house. Woo, a bit more intense for the Virgo risings for sure. It is the house that governs transformation and shared finances and emotional intimacy. And this is the most psychologically deep, intense part of the chart. So the changes here They're going to feel a little bit more intense and transformational, but it's about empowerment. Could be about financial matters, including others, can even be about your father whenever the Sun conjunct Saturn. It can also be about taxes, debts, inheritances, joint finances, mortgages, alimony. All of this can become like major topics. Some of you are going to get a divorce and are going to separate your joint finances. Others are maybe going to marry with like this beautiful destined energy in the seventh, trining Jupiter in the 11th. Some of you are gonna like merge joint finances. That is definitely a very big key topic here for you guys. So yeah, it's also an invitation for you to explore vulnerability and also trust in way deeper ways. And Saturn wants you to take responsibility for your emotional, sexual, financial, energetic, emotional boundaries. Neptune is dissolving a lot of illusion in intimate relationships, and Saturn is crystallizing like new structures. So, yeah, you might also bump into someone who is going to transform you on a sexual level, and that can definitely be a theme around the 9th of April whenever Mars jumps into Aries as well. But be careful. Having Mars in Aries in the eighth house, woo, that's going to be very, very passionate, you guys. So, yeah, you might have like a very intimate, intense encounter that is gonna crack up you crack open your heart, and you might be feeling very on fire. Can also be about fights, about joint resources. So if you're splitting up during this period, just know by the ninth, then that can cause a big fight. So I'm just already like giving that to some of you. It will be important. So let's just hope it's gonna like manifest in a bedroom. I think this is gonna be way better, but still, that's not gonna be the case for everyone, unfortunately. Also, go to therapy. There's going to be profound healing taking place and a lot of emotional breakthroughs with a partner. Maybe you're going to finally be able to let your walls down, and the walls around your heart need to come down. It's about like releasing all the attachments about fears and control and security that can come up and can be triggered in order to get transformed. Good luck, Virgo. Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you're going to have this Aries stellium lighting up your seventh house. And of course, Libra, that's in your opposing sign. So it's opposite your Sun, Moon, or Rising. Very big implication for you. It's in an angular house in the seventh. So it's also going to trigger the 10th to 4th and you as a Libra rising or Sun sign. So seventh is, of course, about partnerships. That is going to be the main focus. With Sun, Saturn, Neptune, relationships are going to be transformed in a very big spiritual kind of way. You might even bump into your soulmate. There can be a little bit of a push pull with Saturn there as well. You wanting to commit, the other that wants more freedom, or some confusion, or maybe even some ghosting because the energy can be too intense. There's definitely very big key dynamics in relationships that are going to get triggered here. Some partnerships are going to deepen and become way more committed here with Saturn. Others are going to dissolve if they're like being built on unrealistic expectations, because Neptune can really have like this rose-colored glasses on in love, and you might need to be a little bit careful for that. On the 9th of April, Mars is going to enter your seventh house, and that can be quite passionate and confrontational and even a little bit conflictive. So prepare yourself for that. If you're already feeling like now, like things are not going or heading into the right direction, by the middle of April, you might conclude certain things for sure. Okay. Also, it's gonna like reveal how balanced relationships are. So you want harmony and peace, but Aries wants honesty and action and directness and bluntness. Other people can be a little bit more blunt towards you. That is definitely also going to be a theme. But yeah, you might need to confront certain issues. You do not want to like sweep them under the carpet, otherwise they're gonna walk all over you. That is not the whole point of this moment. Stop people pleasing. If people walk all over you, you now need to say no. So yeah, boundaries is going to be key here, Libra. So let me know how that plays out for you. And also Of course, Venus, your chart ruler, it is also in the seventh house, which is actually quite positive for you, and it squares Jupiter in the tenth. There can be like an emphasis on like money themes being triggered either in the life of your partner or either within your own career and something shifting. Be careful about overspending. There can be a little bit overindulgence whenever like Venus squares Jupiter, but that is already going to be like past because Venus is already at 17 degrees, of course. Still, the moon is there as well. The moon also rules over your 10th house. So definitely you can also bump into a new business partnership. That is also a possibility here. Or maybe business partnership is going to get dissolved and replaced by a new one. So let me know how that plays out. Good luck, Libra. All right, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you are going to have this Aries stellium in your sixth house. So the sixth house is the house of work, health, daily routines, and I've been warning for a couple of months that you guys need to put a lot of intention towards your health matters, especially if you've been struggling with old inflammatory diseases, old injuries, all of that might be like reignited. Definitely on the 9th of April, because then Mars is going to ingress into your sixth house. So that can give even temporary burnout, issues with like your immune system and inflammations and chronic issues. Saturn, Neptune, Mars on the 9th of April is going to be a lot to deal with, honestly. So take good care of your health. If your health is fine, then it's going to play out in the work sector because it's also about your work and your job office or like your office space at your job, and colleagues and all of that also fall in the sixth. If you're self-employed, it can be having putting an emphasis on your employees. That is also a possibility here, but definitely a very big change in your daily routine. You're gonna like reignite something. You're gonna feel like more motivated to restructure your schedule and change your environment or adopt healthier habits. And maybe you need to rebalance, like, yeah, your work-life balance needs to be like worked out here. So it's also, of course, about your service towards other people, and maybe you're going to change something in those regards, but you definitely need to put a very big emphasis on health and well-being, and that is going to come into sharp focus. Saturn wants you to take responsibility for your physical well-being. If you have not been doing that, Saturn is going to give you like the karmic consequences of that. Neptune is also going to reveal the area where you've been like ignoring or having a blind spot, or like do not ignore the subtle signs of your body. um, Introduce like daily new spiritual practices into your routine. Yoga, music, art, meditation, wellness, going to the spa, going to the gym. Going to the gym is actually going to help you massively with the Aries stellium if you're feeling a little bit pissed off, because definitely from the 9th, like Mars is your ancient like chart ruler, that is going to be in the 6th as well, so that might be helpful. Going to the sauna is also going to be beneficial. So let me know how it plays out, and I wish you good luck, my dear Scorpio. You have Sagittarius and Moon rising. All right, my dear Sag, good news, because oh my god, oh, like this is so cool. I wish I was a Sag also right now, because having this whole planetary parade in your fifth house, the house of fun, that is so cool. But be mindful, because it squares your chart ruler Jupiter, and Jupiter is gonna inflate everything. But you might become massively heads over heel in love with someone, and really wanting to take that to like a deeper level, a more intimate level. That is definitely in the cards here for a lot of Sages. But the fifth house is, of course, the most joyful area of the chart, you guys. It rules over creativity, joy, romance, children, self-expression, flirting, dating. Oh my god, some of you guys are gonna have the date of your life, especially around the 9th, 10th, 11th, whenever Mars is going to enter into the fifth house as well. Dude, it's like trining your sun, moon, or rising. You're gonna have to let me know what happens. I wish I was gonna be like, I wish I could be like a fly on the wall and just like look at the Sagittarius rising, especially, as that is going to be so passionate, so creative, so inspiring, and it's going to be quite transforming whatever happens with the square to your chart rulers, Jupiter in the 8th. So yeah, you're gonna feel more excited. This is gonna be energizing for you. You're gonna feel so inspired to actually pursue new creative projects, hobbies, romantic connections. And Saturn here, it says that you need to take your passions more seriously. If you have a creative hobby, then you can actually turn that into a business or even more structured, and like there can be new opportunities to do that. Some of you are also going to be putting like an emphasis on children. Be careful if you do not want to become pregnant, because holy guacamole, if you're going to try once now, that will be probably yeah, how do you say it in English? I was going to say like, I need to be careful with what I say here on YouTube. Sometimes I am becoming a little bit too comfortable behind this camera. But I need to be mindful that all of other people are watching as well, or that I am being watched. But still, it is the house of fun. So if I say something a little bit more funny, or like, yeah, like I am blunt, I'm an Aries, but you Sagittarius are also very outspoken and very open-minded, and you're so optimistic, and you're always in for a joke, and that is gonna be like massively lit up here, my dear Sag. So I'm actually feeling quite excited and happy for you. My sun in Aries trines your sun, moon, or rising, of course. So I tend to get along so well with Sages, and I always love to be in their energy. And you're gonna feel that people are gonna be attracted towards you. It's gonna be like a moth to a flame, and yeah. If you're a guy with Venus also here in the fifth, oh my god. Maybe you're gonna need to run for the hills because they're gonna be chasing you. And it's gonna be funny. I wish I could like be able to witness all of it. I already have like my imagination is being stimulated massively here, and I look at your chart and wait until the 9th of April, whenever Mars is going to enter the fifth as well. If you're a female Sag rising listening, then Mars, the planet of like divine masculinity, will be in your fifth house. So then you might need to run for all the guys that are going to be chasing you. While that's going to happen on like the 9th until like the middle of April, Mars will be in its masculine home sign of Aries, and Venus, the divine feminine, will be in her home sign of Taurus. Such a good time for relationships, guys, and you might bump into them like in your daily routine. So yeah, I'm quite excited for you. Express yourself in a very unapologetic way, and you're gonna get rewarded by it, by the universe. Good luck, and let me know what happens. Like, I want to know, like. All right, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you are going to have this Aries stellium in your fourth house. So, of course, Capricorn, your chart ruler Saturn is also in the fourth. This whole stellium squares you by sign. You're also a cardinal sign. It happens in the fourth house, which is an angular house. So it's going to trigger the seventh, the 10th, and the first as well. So there might be a lot of changes going forward within like everything that happens at home, because the fourth, it rules over your family, your emotional foundations. It's actually your inner like emotional landscape, and it's gonna be fired up, you guys. It's gonna bring, or it has the possibility to bring a lot of significant changes to your living situation or within your family dynamics. Some Capricorns are gonna move, some are gonna renovate, some maybe already have renovated and now they're gonna need to renovate something again. That is also possible. But definitely, it's about like a new structurized responsibility within your family. And you might even take on more responsibility. Maybe you're going to need to take care of an elder, maybe your father or your mother, or maybe you become a parent yourself. That is very possible here in the chart. So also reconnect with your roots. Burn away old inherited ancestral patterns that you've inherited from your bloodline. I know it's not always a gift to do that, but you're gonna have the courage and the feistiness and the determination to really do that right now. So yeah, tap into that if you are into those things. But definitely with your chart ruler involved, it adds a lot more weight to this whole Aries season. So yeah, you need to build a stronger foundation for the future. And yeah, also look at your own emotional well-being. It's going to be important. It might get a little bit emotional. So be careful of more frustration inside of the home whenever Mars jumps into Aries on the 9th of April. There might be like some conflict with the mother or mother archetypes or females or people you live with inside of your home. It can bring up some frustration. But definitely good if you want to like clean out your home, rearrange something, redecorate. That might be very cool. And like you might need to look at like someone who practices feng shui, so you can like rearrange your home according to like the stars and the northwest south and all of that. It is very very cool to tap into that energy, and that could be very very beneficial for you guys. So good luck. We have Aquarius and Moon Rising. You are going to have this feisty Aries stellium in your third house of the mind. It's going to sextile you by sign, so that is positive. And the third is, of course, also about communication and learning and local connections. If you are a blogger or a podcaster, oh my God, you're going to have so much courage to be blunt, to be outspoken, to tell the truth. Be careful not to ruffle too many feathers, but definitely this is like an ignition, an initiation in this big fire sign, and it likes you. Aries, they do like you because you're an air sign, they are fire, and they're making a sextile towards you, and it's actually positive. Like a lot of Aquarius risings love to talk to Aries because they stimulate their feisty mind and they tend to get along very well. And if they are then a little bit more blunt and outspoken, you both can take it like and yeah, be happy with like someone being outspoken, and it's like illuminating for your mind, and it also helps you with new insights, and all of that is being massively ignited here. So yeah, positive. A very empowering time also for your voice and for your ideas, and you're gonna feel so inspired to write, teach, or create content, or blogging, podcasting, sharing your thoughts more openly and directly and honestly with this whole Aries stellium. Be mindful, on the 9th of April, Mars will also jump into the third house, and then you need to be a little bit more careful for like conflictive speech or having these feisty debates. Your words, they're gonna be cutting like knives. You can say something and it's like a bomb explodes. So that is something you might need to prepare yourself a little bit towards, towards like the middle of April. Pluto is also in your sign. It's sextiling Saturn here as well. So yeah, there are like sextiles between Aquarius and Aries, and the energy here can make you like especially powerful within your communication. Just know that your words can either burn up the whole village or they can ignite something new important in your life. So make sure you tap into the conscious healthy energy of that. But definitely the conversations that you're going to be having now are definitely going to shape a lot of important decisions or opportunities for the future. The third house is also about being on the road in the middle of April. If you feel pissed off, do not drive your car. Wait until you're calm. Otherwise, it might manifest into an accident or road rage, or your car, something, yeah, maybe like some kind of wire burns up, or like it's going to manifest in some kind of way. So be a little bit more mindful about that. But the third is also about contracts. So you might start something new. You might also learn something new. It's the house of like education as well and studying. So yeah, or there might be something very important that happens in your local environment or maybe with your neighbors. So good luck, Aquarius. We have Pisces and Moon Rising. All right, my dear Pisces, you are going to have this feisty Aries stellium in your second house. And the second house rules over money, resources, also your self-worth. It is how you actually support yourself and also what you truly value in your life. And in the second house, there are also a lot of like your self-worth and like your skills and talents, and how that actually creates your streams of income. So that is going to be massively lit up. Some of you are going to be a little bit confused within your earnings. with the sun on Neptune. And then after that, the sun is going to hit Saturn, and there might be some kind of reality slap within your finances. For others who have been saving and buckling up for this transit, which I have been warning about for like last 2 years, they might find that now they have like a renewed sense of stability within their finances. But definitely, Saturn is slow and steady wins the race. But Aries wants to go quick. Well, it's not going to go as quick as you would like within terms of your finances, but there's definitely like a steady buildup. If you budget, if you use it wisely, Saturn wants you to mature in regards to your finances, take responsibility for your own streams of income. Neptune then, like, it casts a whole new vision, and the sun is going to illuminate that. So actually, Neptune can also dissolve previous streams of income, and then Sun Saturn will crystallize a new stream of income. That is definitely possible. And like Venus and the moon are here as well, and that is actually positive. Venus rules over your eighth house of shared finances. So maybe you are getting to meet someone, or maybe you're meeting someone, and there is a change with like merging assets together, and then that like puts you in a higher position. Saturn, that is also a possibility. If you've been fighting and if you're separating, then the sun Neptune can dissolve things and money and also joint finances, or maybe that has already happened whenever the sun was on Neptune, the Venus was on Neptune, excuse me, because Venus rules over your eighth house. So definitely very big change and shift going on here for you. But Saturn definitely encourages you to actually build new financial strategy, but in a way more disciplined way. So you're getting more serious about budgeting, saving, setting these long-term financial goals, and it can also reveal here with Saturn and also Neptune, your chart ruler, that true security, it does not always come from like accumulating more things, but it actually comes from aligning your resources with your deeper values. And that is definitely something that is getting like ignited here. So very powerful time to restructure your finances and also to develop way bigger, like greater confidence within your ability to provide for yourself. So that is the spiritual test here, and that is going to be the feisty energy guy, the feisty energy Aries stellium that you guys are going to be tapping into. So good luck, my dear Pisces. All right, that was it for today. If you're still here, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys all so much for spending some time with me here today. Do not forget to tune in for the live Aries season workshop that is going to be hosting on the 22nd of March. It will be live at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I would love to see you guys there. I've got so much more to share with you guys. We're going to talk about Epic Fury, how it all impacts the other countries. We're going to look at the sign of Aries. We will be looking at the 12 zodiac signs. I will give you some tips how to handle this Aries season. And of course, I'm also going to be answering a lot of questions during like the Q&A during the live workshop. So if you want to join that, I would be so happy to see you guys there. And thank you guys all so much. And I wish you good luck for this feisty Aries season. Bye-bye.